Welcome back to a Clan a Day podcast brought to you by bagtownclans.com. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today, we embark on an epic journey into the history of Clan Bruis, a Lowland Scottish clan that rose to the highest ranks of power, producing two kings of Scotland and leaving an indelible mark on Scottish and British history. Few clans can boast of a royal lineage quite like the Bruces. With their origins traced back to Normandy, Clan Bruce produced some of the most important figures in Scotland's history, including Robert de Brus, one of the nation's greatest heroes and the victor of the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. But before we delve into his story, let's explore the origins of this illustrious family. The name Bruce comes from the French de Brus or de Bruis, derived from the lands of Brix in Normandy, France. Contrary to some claims, there is no solid evidence that a Robert de Brix fought alongside William the Conqueror during the Norman Conquest of England in 1066. Instead, the first notable figure in the family's lineage was Robert de Brus, First Lord of Annandale, who came to England in 1106 and later followed Prince David, the future King David I of Scotland, north to Scotland in 1124. Robert de Brus's loyalty to David I of Scotland led to the family's Scottish establishment. However, Robert's allegiances were divided when civil war broke out in England between Empress Matilda and King Stephen. While David I led a Scottish force in England, de Brus sided with Stephen, capturing his own son, who had supported the Scots at the Battle of the Standard in 1138. The elder Robert de Brus passed away in 1141, leaving behind a complex legacy, but it was his descendants who would take the Bruce name to unimaginable heights. The path to royalty began with Robert Bruce, 4th Lord of Annandale, who in 1219 married Isabel of Huntingdon, a daughter of David of Scotland, 8th Earl of Huntingdon, and niece of King William the Lion. This union brought great wealth and land in both England and Scotland, setting the stage for the Bruce claim to the Scottish throne. Their son, Robert Bruce, 5th Lord of Annandale, known as the Competitor, laid claim to the Scottish crown after the death of King Alexander III. Though his claim was not immediately recognised, it set a precedent for the family's eventual ascension. It was Robert Bruce's grandson, Robert de Brus, who would finally make that royal dream a reality. Scotland was plunged into turmoil after the forced abdication of John Balliol in 1296, leaving the country without a monarch. Initially, Robert de Brus swore allegiance to Edward I of England, but by 1306 Bruce had broken that oath and murdered his rival for the Scottish throne, John Comyn, in a church in Dumfries. This act of violence, though shocking, set in motion Bruce's journey to the crown. Excommunicated by the Pope and hounded by English forces, Robert de Brus refused to give up. On March 25th, 1306, Robert de Brus was crowned King of Scots at Scone, marking the beginning of his long struggle to free Scotland from English domination. Though his early efforts were marked by setbacks, including a crushing defeat at the Battle of Dalry, Bruce's resilience would eventually lead him to one of the most famous victories in Scottish history, the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. With his leadership, the Scots decisively defeated Edward II's army, cementing Robert de Brus's status as a national hero and securing Scottish independence at least for a time. Robert de Brus's son, David II, succeeded him in 1329, though his reign was marked by turbulence. Captured by the English during the Battle of Neville's Cross in 1346, David spent 11 years in captivity before returning to Scotland. Upon his death in 1371 without an heir, the Bruce line gave way to the Stuarts, but the Bruce legacy endured. One of the most fascinating members of the Bruce family was Edward Bruce, Robert's brother. Edward led a daring campaign in Ireland, where he was crowned High King of Ireland in 1316, though his reign was short-lived, ending in his death in battle in 1318. Though his attempt to extend the Bruce dynasty across the Irish Sea was unsuccessful, it is a testament to the boldness and ambition that characterised the family. In later centuries, the Bruces continued to wield influence. Sir Edward Bruce, a judge and diplomat, was appointed a Lord of Parliament in 1601 and later became Lord Bruce of Kinloss. His son, Thomas Bruce, was created Earl of Elgin in 1633. One of the most famous Earls of Elgin, Thomas Bruce, 7th Earl of Elgin, served as a diplomat in the Ottoman Empire. He is perhaps best known for controversially removing the Parthenon marbles from Greece, now housed in the British Museum as the Elgin Marbles. Today, the Bruce family continues to be a prominent force in Scottish affairs. The current clan chief, Andrew Bruce, 11th Earl of Elgin, plays a significant role as convener of the Standing Council of Scottish Chiefs. Throughout their long and storied history, Clan Bruce has been associated with numerous castles, including the iconic Lochmaben Castle and Turnberry Castle. These strongholds serve as reminders of the clan's past power and influence. From their roots in Normandy to their rise as one of Scotland's most significant royal families, the Bruces embody the resilience, ambition, and courage that define the Scottish spirit. Their story is not just about kings and battles, but about a family's determination to leave a lasting mark on history. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Clan a Day podcast. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we explore the history of another Scottish clan. I'm Colin MacDonald, and as always, go na Airí and both our leet.